Do animals know they're alive? There's a crow outside right now that remembers your face. Not just recognizes it, remembers it, holds a grudge if you wronged it, warns its friends about you, and according to the latest science, it might know that it's the one doing the remembering, which raises a question that should genuinely disturb you. What if you're not the only thing in the universe that knows it exists? And the darker flip side, what if you are? In 1970, a psychologist named Gordon Gallup Jr. designed a test so simple it almost seems stupid. He put animals in front of a mirror, but first, while they were unconscious, he marked them. A smear of paint on the forehead, a sticker above the ear, somewhere they couldn't see without a reflection. Most animals saw the reflection and lost it, barking, posturing, trying to intimidate the stranger staring back. Some kept it up for hours. They never figured it out, but a few went still, looked at the reflection, then reached up and touched the mark on their own face. They knew the mirror showed them. The animals that pass: chimpanzees, bonobos, dolphins, orcas, elephants, and one bird, the Eurasian magpie, a crow-sized creature with a brain smaller than your fist that apparently has opinions about its own appearance. The animals that fail: dogs, cats, almost every other species on Earth. And, for the first 2 years of their lives, human babies. Now, before you feel superior to your dog, the test might be completely wrong. Dogs don't live in a visual world. They live in a smell world. Asking a dog to recognize itself in a mirror is like asking you to identify yourself from a recording of your own heartbeat. The test isn't measuring the dog's self-awareness. It's measuring whether the dog cares about mirrors. In 2017, a researcher named Alexandra Horowitz gave dogs a scent version instead, their own urine, a slightly altered version, and a completely foreign scent, and watched which one they investigated longest. Dogs kept returning to the altered version of themselves. They noticed something about their own scent had changed. In their own sensory language, dogs may know exactly who they are, but knowing who you are is completely different from knowing that you are. There's a word for the second one: metacognition. Thinking about your own thinking, being aware that you're aware. You're doing it right now. You're not just reading, you know that you're reading. You can step outside yourself and observe yourself from a distance. Can animals do that? In 2007, researchers gave rhesus monkeys a memory test with a choice after each question: attempt a hard version worth more points, or take an easy version worth fewer. When the monkeys knew the answer, they went hard. When uncertain, they went easy. They weren't just guessing, they were checking their own confidence before deciding. Rats do it too. They'll skip a question they haven't studied for if a smaller guaranteed reward is on the table. Dolphins hesitate before answering in a way that mirrors human uncertainty exactly. These animals aren't just reacting to the world, they're watching themselves react to it. Here's where science hits a wall. All of that, the mirror recognition, the metacognition, the self-monitoring, is behavior, things we can measure from the outside. What we cannot do is get inside. Philosophers call this the problem of qualia, the raw feel of experience, the specific warmth of sunlight on your skin, the particular sting of a paper cut, the feeling of being you right now, in this exact moment. Is there something it feels like to be that crow on the wire? Or is it just executing code, processing inputs, producing outputs, with nobody actually home? In 1974, philosopher Thomas Nagel wrote a paper called "What Is It Like to Be a Bat?" Bats navigate by echolocation. They perceive space as a three-dimensional map of sound reflections. No matter how many bat brains we scan, we will never know what that actually feels like from the inside. And if we can't know what it's like to be a bat, how do we know there's anything it's like to be anything other than us? In 2012, a group of neuroscientists gathered at Cambridge University and signed a formal declaration. Their conclusion: the brain structures that generate consciousness in humans are not unique to humans. Mammals and birds, and possibly other creatures, have the same underlying neural architecture for conscious experience. The hardware, they said, is the same, which means the software is probably running too. Frans de Waal, one of the world's leading primatologists, said we should be shocked if animals didn't have inner lives, because consciousness didn't appear from nowhere. It evolved slowly, the same way eyes evolved, the same way pain evolved, the same way love evolved, which means not humans have it and everything else doesn't. More like all of us are on the same line, at different points, and we've been assuming we're at the end when we might just be further along. And then there's the story no theory can cleanly explain. In 2018, an orca named Tahlequah gave birth. The calf died within hours. For 17 days, Tahlequah carried the body of her dead calf on her head as she swam through the Pacific, over 1,000 miles. When she got tired, other members of her pod took turns. No survival function, no evolutionary advantage, no explanation, unless she knew her calf had existed and couldn't let go of that. Pattern interrupt. Scientists called it the longest recorded tour of grief in any non-human species. But grief only makes sense if you understand loss, and loss only makes sense if you understand that something was there and now isn't. That's not instinct. That's awareness of existence itself. So where does that leave us? Some animals recognize themselves. Some monitor their own thinking. Most probably feel something, even if we can never fully reach what that something is. The question you actually want answered, does your dog know it's alive, we still can't fully crack.